Hey guys, how's it going? It's that nerd Ryan here, and today we're going to be talking about the theory that I've come up with a while back, about a month ago, since my last Star Wars video, that I'm going to expand on a little more today. So, this is a two-part theory. The first one's just dealing with Star Wars in general. The second one will be dealing with Baby Yoda, which is why I have my Baby Yoda popped out, and I'm wearing my Baby Yoda shirt. Excuse me. And I'm wearing my Baby Yoda shirt. So, um, my idea is that a lot of these desert planets that we've been seeing, or desert like planets, are like that because they have a special connection to the Force. Now, I know we've come across planets that have extra special connections to the Force, like Dagobah, Mortis, if you even want to consider Mortis a real planet, um, stuff like that. But there's a lot of coincidental things that are substantial to the Star Wars universe on desert planets. Or one planet that I would still consider, two planets I would still consider desert planets that we've seen in Rebels that aren't fully desert planets per se. So the non fully ones that I'm talking about are Lothal and Chopper Base. I can't remember Chopper Base's actual name, but those aren't full deserts, but they have basically a mesa sort of feeling to them where it's like a desert, but it's not fully a desert. So I'll explain those really quick because they're both kind of obvious. On Lothal, we're able to see access to the world between worlds, although that was through a Jedi temple. But we also had a very big substantial force history on Luthal. Also on Base, that's where the Bendu stays, which is perfect for it being a half desert world because the Bendu's in the middle. And having half desert, half rock formation sort of place, you have something that's half dark and half light. Now we'll go to the three major planets that I wanted to talk about that are in the major Star Wars movies. They're not major Star Wars movies, but the Star Wars movies. We have, of course, Jeddah, Tatooine, and Jakku. So I'll talk about Jakku first. Then we'll lead to Tatooine at the end, since that really ties in to the second half of this theory. So Jakku, while we don't know it from the movies, but we know it from the books, there was a sort of Sith observatory that Palpatine created um, to discover more about the dark and the light side. The dark side, and explore that. Um, Also, we have that's where Rey was raised. And while we haven't visited back on Jakku yet, we have the Guardians of the Wills, or not the Guardians of the Wills, that's Jakku, but we have Lord Santeca and his followers um, using Jakku as a kind of hub to um, practice their religion. The other part would be that there seems to be a lot of substantial fights and everything like that during Jakku. The final battle of the Galactic Civil War took place on Jakku. Um, and we know by reading Aftermath Empire's End that there was some sort of special force like weapon being used on Jakku during the Battle of Jakku. So, next, let's talk about Jeddah. Obviously, lots of kyber crystals. That's what was being excavated during Rogue One. We have the Guardians of the Wills there, and it's just highly force focused. Now, Jeddah might not look 100% like a desert, but it is. Um, and it was also a major focus. People believe that that might have been some of the first Jedi because the moon is named Jeddah after Jedi. So finally, we'll be talking about Tatooine. Now, the only major thing that Tatooine may have going for it is that the Chosen One was born there, and the Chosen One's son was raised there. And then again, we had a lot of substantial moments take place on Tatooine. Um, Now you could rank that down to nostalgia and everything, but I'm talking in universe, not out universe. And then um, something that I've noticed in the season 2 trailer, along with others for Tatooine, is that, or for Mandalorian, is that we go back to Tatooine. Now this leads into the second half of the theory here. So we do know that on Tatooine, we it's more of a kind of hub for people who either are trying to get away from something, start a new life, or just moving around, stay there. Now, 90% of the people on Tatooine are mostly immigrants, as in people from other planets coming in, either staying for a while, staying for a long time, setting up shop. It's a lot like Batu. But the major difference in that is that besides from what we know currently in canon, Tusken Raiders and Jawas, who are the only um, natives to Tatooine. And it's quite possible that Jawas might not even be native to Tatooine anymore, considering that we saw them on other planets. So this is where my theory of what Mandalorian Season 2 will explore and what something we've been trying to figure out. Sorry guys, my phone ended up being filled, so I had to make sure I edited this month's vlog up to this point and everything like that, so that's why there's this awkward break. But basically what I was trying to lead into is that Yoda's race are true Tatooinians, or Tatooinis, or whatever you want to call them. And that's why we're visiting back in, season 2 of The Mandalorian. It would make sense that the Chosen One was born on this planet where an entire race of extremely force-sensitive beings are. Now, we've only seen 3 of Yoda's race, being the child, Yoda himself, and Yaddle. So if they're trying to return him to his people, it would make sense that going to Tatooine could be a lead on who his people are. So that's where my guesses are. Tell me if I'm wrong, tell me if I'm right in the comments. But another thing that I kind of drew close about Yoda's race and Jawa's are the height. Now Yoda is smaller than Jawa. If I had them handy right now for Black Series figures, I'd compare them, but still, it would make sense that we have these tinier people that are about the same height, maybe a little shorter than Jawas, that Jawas could have evolved from over many, many years. And it also bringing in real world facts. So, how Tatooine, that I mentioned earlier, is basically like a hub of people and everything like that, could possibly mean that if we take into the real world effect, when the first people migrated to Tatooine, they might have eradicated the actual natives just to be able to build places like Mos Espa and Mos Eisley and stuff like that by killing the indigenous people, and that's why we don't see that many of Yoda's race. And it could quite possibly be that these characters never revealed what their race is out of fear that they may be eradicated as well. I mean, you see that in modern day society, unfortunately, as well. So that's my theory, is that Baby Yoda and Yaddle are all Tatooinians, the original Tatooinian race of Tatooine. And my theory is also that desert planets somehow have a special connection to the Force compared to planets like Hoth or Naboo or Coruscant. So thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Remember that Angie is having a raffle for when I reach 100 subscribers by the end of the year. If I reach 100 subscribers by the end of the year, there's a raffle for a $20 gift card, so make sure you get on that. And also, Remember, we're all Jedi Masters on the inside.